Got to been a while.
Yeah, that's it.
Must be nice to be back, is it?
Yeah, it's great to be back. Anybody involved in football, wants to be on the pitch and preparing lads for and the team for games, and you want to be part of the whole group. That's part of what football's about. And it's been a big miss, but at the same time, I totally understand why it's been required, and we've got to do our bit still to make sure that we can keep playing. One of the things we're all nervous about is we're back, but we all watch the news. We want to make sure that we stay back.
Yeah, was it nice to be away for a bit, or are you pleased to be back? Are you reinvigorated about it all?
It's terrible to be away. One good thing about it. No, I've missed it enormously. So I'm delighted to be back, and that's what I mean. We want to stay back now. I'm sure there's going to be challenges down the track. There's definitely going to be that. I've got no doubt. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to kind of preempt the different scenarios that might happen and have a plan in place for those. And we've got that, and then the bits we don't foresee and the things that happen, we'll deal with those as best we can as they crop up.
How hard has it been to prepare because of all this? Obviously the late pre-season and all being up in the air, it must have been difficult.
It's been really difficult because ultimately you don't know when the season's going to start. It would have been easy to go, right, we'll start training in the usual time at the beginning of July, end of June, but then of course as well, are you going to keep the lads motivated until the start of the season? If you do that and you go into full pre-season mode, because we start next week, but at some point it looked like it might be sort of November, December, might be next year, so you were making a judgment call, and looking back, I've got no regrets. I think we called it about right. We had a structured return to play, in the sense that we didn't go straight back into full pre-season mode. We did benchmark testing, start a session a week, and then we obviously started to increase that as we got more indications that the season would start when it has. And actually, if you look at it now, we've probably done the same amount of loading as we would do in a normal pre-season. What's been really tough is around friendlies and getting pitches, because half the facilities are closed. We've not been able to train on pitches we would like to have trained on and stuff like that. So that's been a challenge.
We've had a month at least of solid work back.
Yep.
How happy have you been with the lads back in training and in games?
Really good. Really, the vast majority of the lads returned from last year. A few of them had opportunities to go to other clubs. I was delighted with all of them that they chose to stay here, because they saw the progress we made last year. We've made some fantastic signings as well. Not many, but to add to the quality that we already had in key positions. And they've worked hard, and we've made it really clear that if we want to repeat and improve on what we did last year, we've got to be better. It's as simple as that. We can't rely on other teams to be complacent. We just look at some of the teams that we were in and around last year. Some of them have made some incredible signings. That you look at and you think it's incredible that some of those players are playing in the Northern League, frankly. So we're under no illusions how tough it's going to be. Same as last year. We don't have the quality in the same sense of some of the other teams. That's not to put anything on our lads. Our lads are first class, absolutely first class. But we've got to be fitter. We've got to be more organised. We've got to be more disciplined. We've got to be better in all the categories we can be better in.
You mentioned there that there's a couple of new faces in.
Yep.
Tell us about that.
So Aaron's joined us, Aaron Williamouth. He's got great experience playing at an upper level, high level, and I was delighted that he joined Aycliffe. Obviously, he gives a different dimension to our play. He brings great experience as well. Great professional in training. He's been fantastic since he's got here. He's embraced the way in which we want to play. I think it's different in many respects to how he's played, which has been challenging for him in a really positive way, and I think he's really enjoyed it. And I'm really happy with the contribution he's made. He's settled into the group fantastically well. We've also got Bendon Fuller, who I've worked with before when he was at Team North, I've coached Ben for many years. He's a cracking lad. He didn't get the opportunities at Hebden I thought he would get, and which was disappointing obviously for him. But he's back playing football, and he's getting back to the potential meeting the potential that he's got and the quality he's got. We've brought some younger players in as well. So Dibsy and Aaron are the two sort of kind of players that people will be familiar with. But then we've brought a number of younger players in, which I've been absolutely delighted with. Lucas, Ben, Oscar. They've done fantastically well, really, really well, and they'll feature this season and they'll make a really good contribution. I'm really, really happy with the lads we've brought in.
You've got like a nice squad size there. Is the case of everyone still to play into your plans, or have you got an idea of how things are going to play out next week?
We've obviously got an idea. At this point in time, you've got to have an idea. We've got obviously the game on Wednesday against Guisborough, which will be a real tough game. We had some really tough games. They were outstanding last year. Really strong, powerful side. They'll have worked really hard in pre-season. And if we're not focused and absolutely at it, we'll not get any success there. So we have to be really on our game. But we proved last year that we proved against the game against Spennymoor that we can meet that level. Ultimately, it's down to us in that sense. We've proved we can do it. Proved we can do it in this pre-season. But we've got to really sort of, whoever the 11 is, whoever the 16 or if it's 19 or whatever it might be for the FA Cup, every player's got to play their role.
You mentioned the Spenny game on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Lads have had a lot of praise for that performance.
Yeah, is that
a benchmark going forward?
Absolutely, exactly that. That's what we all spoke about. Not just not just from my perspective, from their own perspective. I want them to own their levels of performance as much as I'm part of that. And the other coaches are part of that. They have to push themselves as a group internally as well to higher levels. But at the end of the day, they've played like that as a group. They've set that standard. Well, okay. Well, now you've got to go out and you've got to build on that.
Before the season was brought to an end last year, or fifth.
Yeah.
Is that something that is now a target for this season, or can you go further? Or what have you said to the lads?
Well, look, if you finished fifth last year, there's two things about this. You can't control what other clubs do. If a club brings in a full set of 20 professional players and everything else, then clearly they're going to be a real tough ask. And 5 teams, 10 teams do that, then it makes it more competitive. So New Aycliffe and us as a team don't exist in a bubble. It's all got to be seen in context. However, what I will say is that we set a standard last year. We had a style of football that people around the Northern League as well are aware of. I'm not giving any sort of secrets away. We're not suddenly going to be a completely different team. But we've set that standard. So ultimately, that's for us now to exceed, isn't it? And ultimately, all we can do is we can just control what we do, and that's the challenge to myself and the coaches and the players, and to do it to the best of our ability. It's as simple as that.
You've been here for a season and a half now.
Is that all it is?
You've touched on there like the identity of the club.
Yeah.
There's a lot changed in that time. You must be proud of how that's happened.
Look, of course I am. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the club were second bottom when I came here. We finished 12th in that first season, and obviously we built on that well last year. And I think points per game, I think we would have been 4th or 5th or whatever. Certainly top 6. And I was confident going into the end of the season. We were on a good run, and it was brought to a premature end. It happened. But yeah, of course I'm proud of the progress we've made. At the same time, I'm just one part of that. You've just watched the session this morning. I play my role in that, and the other coaches play their role in that, and the players play their role in that, and the club and all the committee play their role in that. But I hope if I've brought anything, it's a sense of identity to the club. Who we are, how we play. People buy into that. No shortcuts. We're not going to cheat. we're going to be disciplined, and we're going to go about our business in the right way.
Just finally, there's a lot of work that's gone on over the summer as well. You must have a message for the chairman.
Yeah, Alan, what a character. Look, Newton Aycliffe is nothing without Alan. It really isn't, and he doesn't just live and breathe it. He's made a big difference. You asked me earlier on about, like, since I've joined the club, at the end of the day, he's totally embraced everything that I've sort of talked to him about. He's supported me the whole time in what we're trying to do as a team, and so for example, he's invested hugely in terms of the pitch, to improve the pitch, and with all the rain that we've had this week, it just showed how effective it's been, because we got the game on. The pitch has never looked as good. It's fantastic, and it's not just that. He's supported other investments outside of the stuff that you might see, if you like. And I'm not talking about players. I'm talking about some of the infrastructure and the way that we do things, which has been brilliant. Which has really been incredibly helpful, because it's helped to professionalise what we do. And without Alan's commitment and support, and not just Alan, all of the committee and the rest of the club, it really is a fantastic club with everybody's committed. But Alan leads that by his example. He's a hell of a character, and I'm always waiting for my chat with him, in terms of the game. But because the other thing is, lastly, people forget Alan was a really good player and a really good coach and manager as well. So I'm very conscious of the fact that every time I do anything, he'll always be second guessing everything, and all the time we're doing all right, he's okay. So long may that continue.